So today we're going to talk about the quadratic formula, and this is the last method that I will teach you for solving quadratic equations. The quadratic formula can be used to solve any quadratic equation. It is the only way to solve a quadratic equation with three terms that cannot be factored. In order for it to work, it must be in standard form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So it must be equal to 0 before you can use it. And you should write the terms in order. So ax squared bxc equals 0. All right. If you're missing any terms, you use the number 0 for any missing terms. So the formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And a is always the coefficient of x squared, b is always the coefficient of x, and c is always your constant. Now let's take a look at the first example. If you look, this one is already in standard form and it's already set equal to 0. So we can easily determine what a, b, and c are. So a, being the coefficient of x squared, is 3. B is the coefficient of x, that's negative 5, and c is the constant, which is negative 6. Okay? Now, the formula, which you don't have to have memorized, what we normally do first is the b squared minus 4ac part first, because that eventually is going to tell us something that we'll talk about next class. So if you see off to the left, I'm going to do that part of the formula first. So b squared, that would be negative 5. Reminder that whenever you square a negative, it must go in parentheses, okay? Minus 4 times a is 3, and c is negative 6. And then we follow the order of operations. So we do our exponents. Negative 5 squared is 25. And then we would do our multiplication right here. So we got to be careful. 4 times negative 3 times negative 6 is equal to negative 72. But because we have that minus sign there, minus negative 72 is actually 25 plus 72. So lots of places could go wrong here with our signs. But 25 plus 72 is 97. This number right here is the number that goes underneath the radical symbol, and that is called your discriminant. So now let's go over here and look at the formula. So the value of x is going to equal negative b, or the opposite of b. So negative b would be 5, because since b is negative 5, that means negative 5 is positive b. Okay, so negative 5 or positive 5 plus or minus the square root of the b squared minus 4ac we just did off to the left, that's 97, over 2 times a. So that's 2 times 3. Okay, so now when we go to simplify this, the first thing we would try to do is simplify this radical. But this radical represents an irrational number. It's not a perfect square, and it does not have a perfect square that goes into it. So what we have here is an irrational solution. So what we would say is that the answer is x equals 5 plus or minus the square root of 97 over 6. And so what the plus or minus means is that we have an addition problem and a subtraction problem in one. So we would separate it. And the exact answer would be 5 plus the square root of 97 over 6. And then 5 minus the square root of 97 over 6. Now, those numbers don't really mean anything to us, so that's when we go to Desmos. So just note that these are our exact answers, okay? So now we would take those exact answers and we would plug into Desmos exactly what they say, okay? So typically when I do this, I type in 5 plus the square root of 97, I highlight that, hit divided by 6, and then you would get this long decimal. This is an estimate, and so what we would do is we would round this, and typically I'll ask you to round to the hundredths place. So the first solution is 2.47, and the second solution is this one over here, the subtraction problem, which would be negative 0. That would round up to 0.81 if we were rounding to the hundredths place. So these are the estimated solutions. And so what this means is that we end up with two real and irrational solutions. So these are two real irrational solutions. So there's two answers for x, but it's impossible to get the exact answer because the square root of 97 is irrational. Now let's take a look at number 2. We're not always going to get an irrational number. So this is an example where we won't get an irrational number. So reminder, it has to be in standard form. It has to be equal to 0 before we decide what A, B, and C are. So this one is, so we know that A is 3, B is -2, and C is -5. So we're going to start first by plugging it into b squared minus 4ac. So since b is -2, I'm going to do -2 squared, don't forget to put that in parentheses, minus 4 times a is 3, times c, which is -5. And then we do the math. We do -2 squared is +4. So b squared is always going to be positive, okay? Minus 4 times 3 times -5, that gives me -60, which is really the same as 4 plus 60. So the discriminant is 64. So that's the part that goes inside the radical. So if I'm plugging it now into the quadratic formula, I'm going to say x equals -b, or the opposite of b, which is 2, plus or minus the square root of the b squared minus 4ac is 64 over 2 times a. So 2 times a would be 2 times 3. So now I'm going to simplify this, okay? The square root of 64, we already know that that is 8. So we're simplifying the square root of 64 first because that's basically a grouping symbol, right? So what I get here is x equals 2 plus or minus 8 over 6. And then we separate it into two problems. The first solution would be 2 plus 8 over 6, and the second solution would be 2 minus 8 over 6. So we have two answers. And then we can simplify that all the way, right? So we do the math. 2 plus 8 is 10, and 10 over 6 reduces to 5 over 3. And then the other one would be 2 minus 8 is -6, and -6 over 6 is -1. So my solution to this is -1 and 5 over 3. And you're welcome to make that a mixed number if you want. So what this represents is two real rational solutions. So I'm going to write that off to the side. So this is two real rational solutions. So rational numbers are basically any number that can be written as a fraction. And so far, every number that we've talked about is a real number. Let's take a look at the next one. Now, notice this one is not in standard form and it is not equal to 0. So what I have to do is I have to get it equal to 0. So the easiest way to get it equal to 0 is to subtract 5 from both sides. And that's going to give me x squared plus 5x minus 5 equals 0. So that means that a is 1, b is 5, and c is -5. So first thing, let's figure out what b squared minus 4ac is. So I'm going to do 5 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is -5. 5 squared is 25 minus 4 times 1 times -5. That is actually -20, but because it's minus -20, it ends up becoming plus 20. So then I get 45. So the discriminant in this case is 45. So that's the number that goes under the radical. So now I go back to my quadratic formula, which is x equals -b. So in this case, I'm now going to write -5 plus or minus the square root of 45 over 2 times a, which is 2 times 1, or you could just in this case put 2, okay? Now, we look at our radical. Our radical can be simplified. It's not a perfect square, but it has a perfect square that goes into it. The perfect square that goes into it is 9, so I can break that into the square root of 9 times the square root of 5, which means that I have now x equals -5 plus or minus 3 square root of 5 over 2, okay? Now, 3 square root of 5 is an irrational number. So my exact solution is -5 plus 3 square root of 5 over 2 and negative 5 minus 3 square root of 5 over 2. So that is my exact solution. So again, I have two solutions. They are real numbers and they are irrational. So irrational means that we have a decimal that goes on forever, so we cannot give an exact answer. However, we could then go to Desmos, and from Desmos, I type in my two problems, I get these big ugly decimals, and then I'm going to round them. So I'm going to round the first answer is going to be close to 0.85, and the second answer is close to negative 5.85. So if you think that you have it at this point, I would stop the video and just try the next one. The next two have different kinds of answers we haven't talked about yet. However, I think you could probably figure them out. So at the very least, you could stop the video, try the b squared minus 4ac, and see if you get the right answer. But if you still don't really understand, then stay tuned and let's do this together. So number 4, you've got to get the whole thing equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract the 2x from both sides. I'm going to subtract that 2x from negative 8x. So that's going to give me x squared minus 10x plus 25 equals 0. So once it's equal to 0, then you can decide what a, b, and c are. So a is 1 because that's the coefficient of x squared. B is negative 10 because that's the coefficient of x, and c is our constant, which is 25. So now I'm going to do b squared. So b squared is negative 10 squared minus then 4 times a is 1, times c, which is 25. And then we do our math. Negative 10 squared is positive 100. 4 times 1 times 25 is also 100. So 100 minus 100 is 0. So our discriminant in this case is 0. So let's see what that looks like. I get x equals negative b. So negative 10 is positive 10. Plus or minus the square root of 0, b squared minus 4ac, over 2 times a. I'm just going to write 2 there because 2 times 1 is 2. So now if you look at this, I don't have two solutions. I just have one because 10, the square root of 0 is just 0. So 10 plus 0 over 2 is equal to 10 over 2, which is 5. And 10 minus 0 over 2 is also 10 over 2, which is equal to 5. So when your discriminant is 0, that means you only have one solution. And so in this case, 5 is my only solution. So I have one real rational solution. That's what we would say this is. One solution, it's real, and it's rational. Okay, let's take a look at the last problem. This one is already equal to 0. So A is 1, B is negative 6, C is 13. So we're going to do B squared. So that's negative 6 squared minus 4 times A, which is 1, times C, which is 13. So then I square my negative 6, which is positive 36. I multiply 4 times 1 times 13, which is 52. So I get 36 minus 52, which gives me negative 16. Okay, so now that means the number under the radical is going to be negative. So do you know what that means? Let's take a look at it. So I get x equals negative b, so that would be 6, plus or minus the square root of negative 16 over 2 times a, which would be 2 times 1, which is 2. So the square root of 16, negative 16, we can't find the square root of a negative number. So that means that there is no real solution. So as we talked about before, we can't find the square root of a negative number. That's actually considered an imaginary solution. Okay, but what we would do is we would say no solution, or we could do a circle with a line through it. Okay, that's it. Hope you understand. If not, make sure you ask.